Well, once a refugee, an Ethiopian immigrant to the United States is now a successful businessman running a multi-million-dollar transportation company. Viewers Tigis Geme recently documented his journey to achieving the American dream.
Growing up in the Oromia region of Ethiopia, Tashta Tufa worked alongside his 13 siblings on the family farm. He had dreams of traveling the world, but never could have imagined the twists and turns his life would take. Today, Tufa runs a company that carries some 15,000 Minnesota students to school every day. The company has a fleet of more than 300 buses and vans and just opened a new terminal on the north side of Minneapolis. Tufa says his upbringing gave him a strong work ethic.
I would say if you are young, make sure that you are washing your mama's dish. Make sure you do that. Make sure that, I think, discipline starts there and then work starts at your mom's kitchen.
Tufa came to the U.S. as a refugee in 1992 due to political reasons. He held down multiple jobs at once to pay the bills while earning a master's degree at the University of Minnesota. After that, he worked as a civil servant, then as a taxi driver. In 2003, he struck out on his own, delivering handwritten letters to public school districts seeking contracts. He started with a single van transporting homeless children. Tufa says he survived by finding people willing to give immigrants a chance.
For me to do business in Minnesota, I had to find people who look like Minnesota to help me work. It's not necessarily me going out and doing business and giving services. People are comfortable with others other than you who look like them, who speaks like them, who doesn't have an accent. Sometimes you find those ways and please others and continue to do the challenging work.
The business has steadily grown, and in 2012, Tufa was named Entrepreneur of the Year by the Metropolitan Economic Development Association. Tufa believes immigrants play an important role in the U.S. economy.
I think the immigrants are, the reality is the immigrants do a leftover job also. There are jobs that, my daughter doesn't want to do it as a native-born American, but somebody else has to do that job. I think immigrants have contributed to the country in many, many positive ways.
Tufa, a father of 5, says he prioritizes the safety of the children his company serves. Although buses typically drop off kids and leave, MTN pays its drivers to wait until the children get inside their homes or are met by an adult. He also has strived to create a business that operates like a family.
And when I first started, everything I kept hearing was you want to be more like a family. So what we did was Carrie and myself, who's a transportation manager, we said we're going to continue that tradition and making it like family.
Tufa believes his story can be an inspiration to new immigrants. With hard work, he said, anything is possible.
Don't be lazy. Take the opportunities you have very seriously. Work hard. Don't expect magic. There's nothing free. Get prepared to work more hours and sacrifice. Sometimes you don't see your family due to your work schedule.
And if you want to be a success, he says, the American dream is alive. For Tigis Geme, Salam Solomon, VOA News.
Students who study outside their country sometimes face a tough task applying what they've learned back home. In Cape Town, 3 music students from South Africa's top music school talk about their experience and preparations for successful careers in their respective countries. Take a look.
24-year-old Malawian music student George Kalukusha is a gifted guitar player. He's preparing for a live show at South Africa's School of Motion Picture Medium and Live Performance, where he's been studying music for the past 3 years. Inspired by music greats like Zimbabwe's Oliver Mtukudzi and Senegal's Baba Maal, Kalukusha says he wants to be the next big thing in Malawi when he returns.
I think it's always been from Malawi because the artist himself, me, comes from Malawi. I think the language thing is something which shouldn't be taken too much into consideration in terms of music, because music transcends a lot of barriers, and one of them being language. But obviously I'd want to be accepted more from Malawians who are not so keen in listening to English, music that's done in English.
South Africa's arts education program have long been a draw for students from across the continent, where careers in areas like music don't draw the massive investment seen here, especially in the nurturing stage. While there are many success stories, most young people have to find their own way in the industry, relying mostly on mentors and the experiences of those that have gone before them. 22-year-old Unity Machang started writing songs when she was just 12. She says she grew up surrounded by music, but got a real taste of the business when she came to South Africa.
I love jazz and house, so those are my main writing styles. But I listen to everything. I listen to anything from like jazz to hip hop to old soul, neo soul, anything.
The school offers programs that not only teach the art, but also how to make a viable business of it.
There is a bit of classroom activity. There's obviously a lot of practical work as well. Also, there's a whole business and entrepreneurship component. Obviously, these students are developing their brand around a particular target market.
Most of the students that come here go home enthusiastic about a career in music, but not all of them find it easy, even with the training.
Trying to reinvent the Kenyan music sound and jazz and try to collaborate both of them, because the Kenyan music sound keeps changing over and over, so right now that's where I'm at musically.
Most students will have an album ready by the time they graduate from the music school. That's steps ahead compared to struggling artists, most of them trying to find studio time. But if there is enough attention paid to the arts, then investment could level out the playing field for those that have the talent and the commitment to succeed.
And that's our show for today. You can find all the continent's top news and world news online at voaafrica.com. Now check it out. I'm Vincent McCory in Washington. Joker Rogers has our last word from Lagos.
Thanks, Vincent. We look forward to bringing you another show next week. ChannelsTV.com is your source for news, sports, and other programming. I'm Joker Rogers. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.